Hello everybody and welcome to my review of volume number 1 of Tappei Nagatsuki's light novel series ReZero EX, The Dream of the Lion King. Now this of course is the first of the spin-offs of the ReZero series. There's only 2 volumes that I know of in the EX series, and unlike say a spin-off like Danmachi's Sword Oratoria, this is not an ongoing series, and it's not like an ongoing sort of story series. As far as I understand it, these are sort of standalone volumes that give us background information on side characters, just to kind of give us an idea of who they are, what kind of life experiences they have had, and what has happened to them that has shaped them into the character that we meet in the main series. Now, just like the main series, this one is released in English by Yen On. If you want to pick up your own copy, I do have links for Amazon.com and the book depository in the description down below. Now, this volume features Crusch and Ferris. Of course, Crusch Karsten being one of the candidates to take over the throne of the Kingdom of Ligunica, and Ferris, of course, is her knight, her attendant, her friend. Ferris, of course, is one of the royal guard. He is a very effeminate cat boy who dresses in women's clothing and behaves in a feminine way. We also have a third character who is an integral part of this friendship, and that is the 4th prince of the Kingdom of Ligunica, and that is Fourier. Now, with this book, we kind of have this one suffer the curse of prequels, because we know how it ends. However, this book, I will sort of structurally, this book's a little bit different. It is a series of short stories. They are told in chronological order, and because they focus on this sort of ongoing and developing relationship, friendship between Crusch, Ferris, and Fourier, it doesn't quite feel as disjointed as I would say short story volumes typically do. It really feels like you're reading a life story of these characters and the story of their meetings and their friendships and major events that happened to them, that from the point of childhood up until basically where we start and meet them in the ReZero main series. With the character of Fourier, I really liked his character. I don't think I got as invested in him emotionally just because I knew sort of his inevitable fate. However, seeing how he worked with this sort of trio of Crusch and Ferris, it really worked. He was a really enjoyable character, and you can see why his presence and who he was had a huge influence on Ferris and on Crusch. Now with Crusch, even though the book makes it sound like it's sort of going to give you all of her backstory and tell you how she became the woman that she is in the main series, I think it's a touch misleading. Now, definitely, we do see some very integral moments of her development. There is most definitely towards the end of the book a defining moment that she has that probably brings into crystal clarity the vision she has for the Kingdom of Ligunica, so should she ascend to the throne. And of course we know what that is if you've read volumes 4 and 5 of the series. So we do get that, but we kind of find out that Crusch has been the pretty serious and severe young woman from when she was like a young child, actually. She and Fourier meet as children, and she thinks he's an intruder and pulls a dagger on him. So that kind of gives you an idea that, yeah, in a lot of ways, Crusch hasn't changed a whole lot. If anything, the one character who I would say has a huge development in this book, it is Ferris, or Felix Argyle, if you go by his birth name. Ferris, in the main series, I kind of wondered how this character was going to work. Whether this character was being used as just sort of a sight gag. The fact that it's a boy, but he dresses and looks and acts very much like a girl. This is often the case, I would say, in light novels and in manga and anime, where characters who, whether they are truly transgender or whether they are just cross-dressing or even if they are gay, a lot of the times those kind of characters are used as a gag. And it verges on disrespectful at times. I wouldn't say that it goes wholesale there all the time. Sometimes, definitely. But it just kind of struck me. I wondered who this character was going to be. Tappei Nagatsuki, who writes the ReZero series, strikes me as being a really decent author, actually. Like, ReZero is one of the better written series that I find. So I kind of thought, well, what are you doing with this character? By the time you are done this volume, nothing but respect for Ferris as a character. Ferris receives probably the most fleshing out in terms of his backstory, in terms of the things that he must overcome, in terms of, you realize that who he is, how he dresses, how he behaves, it is a vision and a choice that he has made for himself. It's not based on the influence, it's not based on anybody else. No one has ordered him to. There isn't anything underhanded about it per se. This is the person that he wishes to be. And when you see the things that he has overcome and has to overcome in this book, he is the character that I feel comes through this book with the most depth and change in terms of how you view the character. As I said, Crusch's character, definitely there are moments, but she seems pretty consistent. Fourier, same thing. Really good character, a lot of fun, but pretty much the same character. Ferris, though, Ferris has this incredible character arc over this book. I would verge on the point of saying that Ferris is kind of the main character for 2/3 of the book. Overall, the individual stories are a mixture of laughs, of a bit of horror, suspense. There are certainly things that will sort of pull on your heartstrings. There's a bit of heartache, heartbreak. There's a real wide gamut of emotions covered in this book. And so as a fan of ReZero, I would say it's definitely something that you need to pick up. It doesn't feel as much of a throwaway, inconsequential, just I did it for the money side volume, as I think some side volumes tend to be. It still feels important, and it still, as I said, develops characters enough and gives you enough back history on the characters that it feels like it's very important to know the things about these characters going forward. In terms of where this book sits, it is in Japan. It was released between volumes 6 and volume 7. So we actually got it a volume early in English. At the very back, with the ReZero series, they usually have like 2 characters at the back, and they give you a little blurb about things that are upcoming and, what's going to happen next volume. They do mention a little bit about volume 7 because that's what this was released before in Japan. So it's a little bit spoilerish, not heavy spoilers, but if you have not read volume 6 and you're trying to avoid as much as possible spoiler-wise, you might want to just give that one little bit a pass on this. Like I said, it's not going to ruin the book. I haven't read volume 6 and I didn't feel like it spoiled a whole lot for me, but just want to make you aware that it is there, and it is something that if you want to avoid spoilers, you should be cognizant of. But all in all, it is a really good book. As I said, I think the biggest downfall of it is because it's a prequel. Some of the more emotional moments, particularly towards the end, they're really well written, but I don't think the payoff is as great because it's coming. If you've read the series, which honestly, this is not the book to jump in on, read the main series at least until volume 5, then read this, or go up to 6 and then read this, so it's more like what the Japanese order was, whichever you want to do. But definitely, if you're thinking about jumping onto ReZero, this is not the one to jump in on. Like I said, it is a very much standalone type book. It is not an ongoing series focusing on only these characters. It just provides a lot of fun and character building stories for these characters, so that kind of helps you get a better idea of actually who they are when you get back into the main series. But if you're a fan of ReZero, I think this is one that you should definitely pick up. As I said, when I finished it, I had a lot of respect for Ferris. I really enjoyed Ferris's character a lot more. He did not seem like a gag type character. And in terms of Crusch, as I said, even though I wouldn't say I saw the development of her character, she seemed to be, sort of the kernels of that character were right at the beginning. Definitely in terms of why she is so determined to realize her vision, it's made so much clearer in this book and makes sense. It really does, especially when you sort of see like the influence on her and Ferris's lives that, Fourier had, being the crown prince and everything else. It is a really good book. I had a lot of fun with it. But like I said, if you're not a fan of the series already, this is not going to change your mind, and it's not the place to start. If you are a fan of the series, you should absolutely pick it up. Definitely worth your read. And yeah, like I said, does not feel like just a throwaway sort of, I needed a couple extra bucks type of book. It actually legitimately feels like something that's integral to the series. So those are my thoughts on volume number 1 of ReZero EX, The Lion King's Dream. My next review is going to be on volume number 12 of Excel World. This one, actually, well, I'm sort of feeling the need to get moving because volume number 13 is coming out in March, and we're already halfway through February. November? Where did that come from? We're almost halfway through February, so I kind of thought, I bet there's a couple of books I need to get moseying on along with, because the new volumes are going to be out real soon. So that'll be my next review. So if you love light novels and you're brand new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. I do 2 to 3 reviews every week, plus a weekly countdown of the top 10 best-selling light novels in Japan. Thank you so much for joining me in this video. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Till then, bye-bye for now.